This film is set in the waters of the Australian Sea. The story opens with a trip by a French couple, Rob and Pia, who are heading to the dock to enjoy their vacation. Once they arrive, Rob immediately goes to rent fishing gear, while Pia waits by the shore. While waiting, two fishermen can be seen watching Pia because of her rather revealing appearance. After getting the fishing gear, Pia is confused when Rob chooses an old wooden boat. Rob says he likes classic things, but the truth is, he doesn't have enough money to rent a better boat. They then start sailing toward the fishing spot. Time passes, but they still haven't caught anything. In the middle of it, they briefly talk about Rob's job, where he failed to handle a rape case. Pia looks upset because she feels the case didn't get justice.
I don't understand them.
Not long after, their bait finally gets taken by a fish. Rob manages to reel it in, but Pia is disappointed because Rob immediately kills the fish. In the distance, signs of a storm start to appear. Pia suggests they go back, but Rob instead wants to continue toward the mangrove forest. As they're about to leave, the boat engine is a bit hard to start. After it finally works, they realize the dock is already empty, with only their car left. The boat keeps moving into the mangrove area, getting farther away from where they started. This makes Pia start to feel uneasy. Soon, the storm gets closer, and Pia realizes they've gone pretty far off course. Rob tries to convince her that the waterway they're on will lead them back, but in reality, the path gets narrower and harder to pass. It turns out they've entered a drainage channel. Pia didn't expect Rob's decision would take them this far. Night falls, and they're still stuck in the same area. Pia starts getting annoyed because they're just going in circles with no direction. In the darkness, they see car headlights in the distance. When they look closer, the driver is actually torturing someone. They decide to move away and look for another way. Not long after, Rob sees another light, which turns out to be coming from a farmhouse. Rob asks Pia to go there to look for help. Rain starts to fall as they approach the house and call out to the owner, but there's no answer. Rob then decides to check the back of the house, while Pia waits in front. Not long after, the car they saw earlier arrives at the house. Meanwhile, Rob has already entered through the back. Pia is actually unsure about that decision, but Rob assumes the house is rarely occupied. They go inside and start checking the place. Rob looks for a phone, while Pia stays in the living room. In the kitchen, Rob finds the place in a mess. He then heads to the storage room and is shocked to see many suspicious plants. Meanwhile, the car has stopped in front of the house. The owner finally becomes aware of their presence. Rob quickly returns to Pia, and as they try to leave, the owner threatens them. Rob tries to explain that they're just taking shelter, but Jimmy, the homeowner, doesn't accept it because they entered without permission. It's revealed that the place is on an isolated island. Jimmy then tells Brett to take care of their father. Brett leaves, while Rob and Pia are told to go inside the house. Inside, Jimmy's behavior starts to feel uncomfortable, especially when he looks at Pia in an inappropriate way. Pia is even asked to hold a dog, making her feel even more awkward. In the kitchen, Rob tries to ask to be taken to the nearest phone, but Jimmy makes it clear that they're not in the city. Brett brings their father upstairs. Jimmy starts to suspect that Rob and Pia have seen something in the storage room. Even though Rob tries to cover it up, Jimmy says he'll take them away the next day. Then Jimmy tells them to bathe behind the house. At that moment, Jimmy secretly listens to their conversation about planning to escape and report what they saw to the police. After that, Jimmy takes their clothes. Rob realizes their clothes are missing and goes inside the house to ask for them back. In the kitchen, Brett accidentally drops some food. When Rob asks for their clothes, Jimmy instead shows an unfriendly attitude. Jimmy is annoyed because they entered without permission, but now are demanding to be served. Rob tries to ask for their father to be woken up, but that only makes Jimmy even more offended. Jimmy starts belittling Rob and Pia, thinking they're acting however they want in someone else's place.
What's your old lady like as a cook?
The situation becomes more tense and uncomfortable for the couple. Pia is then ordered to prepare dinner. Under pressure, she has no choice but to follow the order. A while later, the food is ready. During dinner, Jimmy and Brett force Pia to speak in French. She goes along with it, but quietly tells Rob that they need to find a way to escape. When asked what she said, Rob lies and says it's just song lyrics. After that, Rob is told to pour the drinks. The situation gets even more uncomfortable when Jimmy starts acting excessively and asks Pia to show her body. Reluctantly, Pia complies, making Jimmy and Brett enjoy it even more. Not long after, Jimmy gets angry because Pia's cooking is considered burnt while they're also running out of food supplies. Suddenly, Jimmy orders Pia to kill his pet dog. Pia clearly can't do it, but Jimmy keeps threatening her. Rob tries to defend her, but the situation becomes even more dangerous. In the end, Pia is forced to do it. After that, Jimmy acts like nothing happened, even trying to calm Pia down. Not long after, he even praises the result of the dog dish. The conversation continues, and Jimmy starts asking about Pia's job, which turns out to be an artist. At the same time, Jimmy belittles Rob's profession as a lawyer. The atmosphere becomes even more unhealthy and full of pressure. Suddenly, their father screams from upstairs. Jimmy and Brett panic because they don't want him to wake up. Pia uses that moment to ask for a place to rest. Jimmy just laughs at how they ended up in this situation, then takes Rob and Pia to the storage room. They are forced to sleep there, with a dog guarding outside. When things seem safe, Rob asks Pia to escape.
We're getting out of here. Joyce. Come on.
They manage to get out, but Pia feels something is off because it all seems too easy. Not long after, they find someone who was previously being tortured by Jimmy and Brett. Suddenly, they are surrounded again by the two men. Rob and Pia are forced into a car and taken back to the storage room. There, Rob tries to negotiate. He promises not to report anything about the strange garden they saw, even offering money. But Jimmy is not interested at all. The situation gets worse when Jimmy forces Pia to take off her clothes. Rob tries to fight back, but is immediately attacked by Brett. As things spiral out of control, Rob tries to stop them by saying Pia is 2 months pregnant. Unfortunately, that doesn't make them stop. Rob is beaten until he passes out. In that condition, Pia can't do much until the situation suddenly changes when Poppy, Jimmy, and Brett's father appears. Brett gets annoyed because he's interrupted. Poppy comes in and immediately scolds them for causing a commotion. Jimmy then explains that they're holding Rob and Pia because the couple has already seen their forbidden garden. Hearing that, Poppy makes it clear that Rob and Pia will not be released. He even threatens to let his dog attack them if they try to fight back. Brett gets scolded for being careless in guarding the storage room, and Poppy accuses Rob and Pia of being intruders. Poppy then tells Brett to go back to the house to come up with a plan before morning. After that, Rob and Pia are locked back inside the storage room. At the house, Poppy vents his anger on his two sons for being careless. Meanwhile, in the storage room, Pia starts trying to help Rob, who is injured. She makes a simple support for Rob's leg, then prepares whatever tools she can as a precaution. On the other side, Brett is seen looking for his dog while keeping an eye on the surroundings. Pia pretends to sleep so she won't raise suspicion. Not long after, Rob finally regains consciousness and immediately asks if Pia was hurt. Pia chooses to lie to calm him down. After that, she shows that she has prepared something to survive. Pia realizes that no one is coming to help them, so the only option is to fight back. Pia starts making a plan by using items around the storage room to set traps. That courage comes from remembering her father's message, that to face something dangerous, you have to think like it. Not long after, they hear a dog outside. Brett is ordered to look for it and also to finish off Rob. Meanwhile, Pia is left alive. As Brett gets closer, Pia quickly turns off the light and pretends to sleep again. As soon as Brett enters, he immediately wakes Pia up. The situation becomes even more tense. Pia tries to manipulate Brett by saying that he isn't treated well by Poppy.
Maybe she wants to. You're different than him.
But Brett isn't affected. As he's about to shoot Rob, the trap Pia prepared finally works. Brett gets caught, and in that moment, Pia manages to fight back. The short fight ends with Brett dying at Pia's hands. Sometime after that incident, Jimmy goes out to look for Brett. From outside the storage room, he peeks in and sees Rob and Pia, who seem to be sleeping. At the same time, Poppy's dog starts to smell Brett's blood and forces its way into the storage room. Pia notices this and immediately becomes alert. Meanwhile, Jimmy is called back to the house by Poppy. He is ordered to bring Pia. Jimmy returns to the storage room and approaches them. As he's about to take Pia, his attention briefly goes to a rolled-up carpet on the floor, but before he can check further, Pia tries to escape and distracts him. In the end, Pia is still taken into the house. Before that, Jimmy even takes time to put makeup on Pia, applying lipstick to her lips as if treating her like an object. After that, Pia is told to go upstairs. There, Pia enters Poppy's room where he is already waiting. Poppy says that Pia's appearance reminds him of his past. It's revealed that Poppy once killed both of his wives. The situation becomes even more intense when Pia is forced onto the bed and Poppy intends to treat her the same way. But this time, Pia doesn't stay silent. After that moment, Poppy ends up getting caught in a trap that Pia had prepared earlier. The noise from the room is heard by Jimmy. Pia immediately takes the chance to escape. As she goes downstairs, Pia almost gets shot by Jimmy, but manages to avoid it and falls to the lower floor. She then runs back to the storage room and tells Rob to hide immediately. Jimmy follows to the storage room and starts looking for them. When he opens a cabinet, he is shocked to find Brett's body. At that moment, Pia and Rob manage to get out and lock Jimmy from the outside. They rush to the car to escape but can't find the key. Pia decides to go back into the house to look for it. Meanwhile, Jimmy is still trapped in the storage room. Pia manages to find the car key. On her way out, she runs into Poppy again, who turns out to still be alive after escaping the trap. Pia immediately attacks him, then runs back to the car. As Poppy approaches the car, his own dog suddenly attacks him after smelling blood. Not long after, Jimmy finally manages to get out of the storage room and sees the chaotic situation outside. He immediately tries to stop Rob and Pia from escaping. Jimmy then goes to the storage room and starts his amphibious vehicle to chase them. Meanwhile, Rob and Pia try to get away as fast as possible, but Jimmy's vehicle gets stuck because of Brett's body. Seeing the opportunity, Pia immediately drives the car toward Jimmy. Jimmy manages to dodge at first, but the situation turns when the vehicle's propeller ends up pointing toward his body. In the end, Jimmy dies because of the propeller. After everything is over, the situation finally becomes calm. Rob and Pia leave the place. However, Pia chooses to keep to herself what she actually experienced there, without telling Rob. The story ends with them surviving the place.